With Cade McFarland, Al Jerkins. Well, the Thunder, it's been a week since Scott Brooks was fired, unceremoniously, I might add, and Billy Donovan introduced on Friday in Oklahoma City, and you were there.
Yep.
First, your impressions of Billy Donovan.
He's an impressive guy, as you would imagine. Even though I didn't watch his career really closely at Florida,
Right.
He had enough success that you knew. 2 national titles, 4 Final Fours, just a whole bunch of wins, 6 SEC titles. You knew this guy had it together. He came from the Rick Pitino family of coaching, and frankly, when he was winning those titles back in 06 and 07, you thought, this guy's kind of Rick Pitino plus. He's just so well-spoken and maybe not quite the hothead. He's been on NBA radar for a long time, and he's been given the keys to a Ferrari, right? I mean, this guy obviously can coach. I'm not going to say he can't, but it's
Ferraris.
A college guy in his first year being asked to win a title.
How about a Ferrari and a Porsche?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm not sure which one Westbrook is, the faster one.
There you go. Let me ask you this, though. Yes, he's a Pitino disciple. Is that good for the NBA? Be great for college, but he's already established his own mark in college. Does the Pitino factor matter in the NBA? I think he has a good grasp of the game. His only NBA experience, 44 games as a backup for the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious about that. And past performances of college coaches going to the pros is not stellar.
He's been a head coach for 21 years, and he hasn't been with Pitino in that time. So I'm not sure the Pitino thing's a big deal. Pitino was ahead of the curve with regard to shooting a lot of three-pointers and playing fast. And that's the way the NBA is now. And Donovan's had time now to, kind of come up with his own system with regard to how they play off the pick and roll. And it sure looks like he uses a lot of the analytical stuff that Sam Presti's a really big fan of. And I think, we don't know this for sure, but I think there's a good chance that that's part of why Scott Brooks is gone. I don't think he and Sam Presti, I don't want to say they didn't see eye to eye, but they didn't put the same importance in analytics. I think Presti really, really values it, and Brooks just kind of values it. It sounds like Donovan is one of those guys that it looks like he's ahead of the curve offensively. I think that's part of what Presti wanted. And I'll say this, what I've been telling people all day. I think this could be a good move. Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook hearing the same coach's voice at the age of 29 as they did at the age of 20 may not have been the best thing for this program. It's probably good to change things, but I don't think it was fair. I think Scott Brooks did a heck of a job. He went to the finals and then had injured teams ever since, and this year winning 45 with that ridiculous situation.
That's what I'm saying.
To me, he did a fantastic job.
Think of any other coach that could have done similar this season at 40. They started out 3-12, which means he won 40 games since then.
Durant missed 55 games.
In the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Without Durant for 55 games.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't know how many coaches who could have, even Popovich would have a hard time doing that.
I agree,
So,
and I'll try and say
I just wish
this
Brooks would have been able to finish it out. If he didn't do good with a healthy Durant and Westbrook and Ibaka, then change necessary. I just wish I could have seen Brooks.
And I wish he got a little more credit from the rank and file. Thunder fans who are calling into talk radio stations, I wish they would understand that this guy was a better coach than I think they think.
Please stop with the inbounds plays and the
Exactly,
defense.
absolutely.
It's
absolutely.
the NBA for crying out loud.
You got to zoom out and look at the whole thing. And
They won 45 games
Absolutely.
in a year where most teams would have won 25 tops.
I agree. And player development, I think, was a great strength of his, but I think his greatest strength was, I don't want to say how laid back he was, but how much humility he had, how little ego he had, because Russell Westbrook...
He didn't need this.
That's right. Because Russell Westbrook was allowed to go off half-cocked and make a couple of terrible plays a game, he ended up making more really positive plays for you, and I think a coach that would jump down his throat might have thwarted some of that. I think Brooks let these guys blossom at a young age. Now, is Donovan that kind of guy? He might be. He used the phrase over and over again today, it's not about me. If that's not just lip service, if that's really the kind of guy he is, then maybe this will work beautifully. But if he's a really high-maintenance New York guy like Pitino was in the NBA, I don't think this is going to work
Pat Riley,
out
who needed a $1,000 suit for every game in his expense report?
Yeah.
All right, so this is the first time that Billy Donovan has lived west of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
He's going to have to start pronouncing his R's. I learned that when I moved out here.
Sometimes it depends on the day. Are the
exactly.
Rangers playing or not?
The Rangers are playing, it's Rangers. I understand that. It's New York.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I remember to pronounce my R's. Billy Donovan's going to have to do a better job of that. He sounds too East Coast.
If they have a parade in Bricktown, people aren't going to care if he's pronouncing his R's or not.
It's the Thunder, Billy. Thunder, not Thunder. Thunder. And it's not Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma. Thank you.
Goes for David Stern as well.
All right. So overall, you like? Everything's transpired.
I think he's a really
okay?
impressive guy.
He did
I
a good job
hate
at the
to
press
see Scott
conference
Brooks
today.
go. I'm not convinced yet that he'll be a better coach than Scott Brooks was for these guys. And even if he wins a title, Scott Brooks didn't get to coach this particular team with the new firepower, Cantor and Waiters. But that's life. He was well compensated. Guys get fired in the NBA all the time, and now it's Billy Donovan's team. And like you said, win a title, we all love you.
Yeah.
Fall short of that at all, and you're a bum.
Now, we've got the weekend coming up, so think about
Big
this.
weekend.
Well, think about this for the over the weekend, and when we do this again on Tuesday. What's the biggest story in Oklahoma right now? Biggest sports story in Oklahoma right now? The Thunder changing coaches, or who's going to be the next quarterback at the University of Oklahoma?
It's a good question.
Think about that.
It's a good
Okay.
question.
We
You don't
want
want my
you-
answer now?
No,
We're teasing. All right.
and we want you, the folks out there, to think about that as well. We'd like to hear some responses to it, and we'll get to that next week.
That'd be
All right,
great.
all right. For Cayden McFarland, Al Jerkins, 2 Works for You Sports.